I knew it was going to be one of those days as soon as I felt Barney licking my toes. But when he pulled off the duvet, I decided to throw him a book. The ouch that followed didn't sound like a dog responding to a book on the head. It was Grandpa, hiding under the bed again. It was like this every time he stayed. Weird though he is, he has his good points. Like the time I decided to be Katniss for the day and he helped me make a bow and arrow. He tried to show me how to work with the thing, but I just said to myself, what would Katniss do? And did it. I am pretty good with a bow and arrow. Barney is not amused by this new skill. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, one of those days. By now, all this thinking was making me late for the early morning banter of the school netball court. That's where we hang out. So, I jumped out of bed, ensuring that I trod on Grandpa as I fled his idea of an alarm call. The kitchen was silent and the floor cold. As usual, Mum was out walking the dog with Barney. Dad hates me calling him the dog, so I would have to get my own breakfast. I liked the quiet peacefulness of an empty. Grandpa said that's what they call it in Glasgow when your parents are away. He said it means you can have an open house and invite all your friends over for a party. But I only have 10 minutes before they return, so I open the cupboard door instead. That is when my jaw dropped and my tongue fell out. The cupboard was empty, but for a strange little round, hairy creature just sitting there, seemingly staring at me. What the? I said out loud. But my cry of astonishment was wasted as no one was there to hear me. I repeated, what the? This time just in my head. That's better. I slammed the door shut and leaned against it. What the? I rethought. I was lost for any imaginative words. Then I realised I was trying to say, what would Katniss do? The bow and arrow. I ran to the garage and returned with the weapon of choice. I prepared the arrow and with both hands full, I used my foot to open the cupboard door. Lucky it wasn't the wall cupboard. Poised in readiness to fight or take flight, I peered in. It was still there. And I mean, still, it was as still as a dead thing in a cupboard. I started to think like a hunter. How many legs? None. How many arms? None. Movement? None. Sound? None. A pattern was beginning to emerge. None of the above only means one thing. It is not a creature, it's a thing. I decided to take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and prodded it. By the way, I never actually thought it was a bull. No, really. It was too small. Movement? Still none. Sound? Still none. It was either dead or had never been alive. But what about those staring eyes? I now realised they were just little black circles that seemed to peep out through the hairy round shape. But now I could see a third, which made it look like it had a nose. Think, think! I know, I will FaceTime a friend. Holly, she will know what it is. Come on, answer. Hi, Holly, just got a quick question for you. No, I'm fine. What do you mean I don't seem fine? Don't be scared, Holly, but I'm going to show you something rather horrible and I'm hoping you'll be able to tell me what it is. Holly, as ever, was not scared. She just calmly said one word. Coconut. As the blood returned to my brain, I looked at the thing with a clear head and realised she was right. Thai green curry, I murmured, and made my excuses and shut down the FaceTime with a laters. The thing now looked cute. A coconut. Mum uses coconut milk in Thai green curry and there is a picture just like this little fella on the tin. It now dawned on me. Well, actually, dawn was a while ago and I needed to eat, but the cupboard was empty. No cereals, just the coconut. I knew you could eat coconut and drink the milk. How do you get into the thing? I tried the Terry's chocolate egg approach and banged it on the table. No joy. It was a tough one. It will have to be the hammer. Tried the hammer. Still no joy. Just then, a stained dressing gown and scruffy slippers shuffled into the kitchen. Grandpa muttered, "Saw," as he shuffled to the kettle. Of course! I shall saw through the shell. Grandpa then mumbled something about poke his eye out. I looked puzzled at this barbaric suggestion and then remembered it was vegetable, not animal. He continued, "The eye is always the weak spot. Always go for the eye. Then you can pour the milk out before you cut it in half with the saw." For once, Grandpa was being helpful and not talking in riddles or old speak. I did what he suggested and drank the milk. I was surprised it did not taste of curry, but Grandpa explained the processes of cooking, ingredients and flavours. Back into old speak. I wasn't interested. I just wanted to get to school. No time to eat the coconut. I wrapped the two halves and put them in my bag for later. You Think You've Got Problems, You Should Try Living in My World was written by Hugh Meechan, narrated by Sorrel Meechan, and brought to you by Foray Productions.